You want to simplify and automate your marketing processes, but don't know where to start? Do you feel overwhelmed with technology? Or you don't have the time to figure it all out and are just looking for some simple strategies to implement? Well, my friend, you are in the right place. The Simple Marketing Solutions podcast comes out every Wednesday, and I'm your host, Amita, and I'll guide you on a journey towards marketing successfully. Our podcast is the ultimate destination to growing your business simply and finding the inspiration to get online with your digital marketing efforts. Our tailored solutions provide actionable solutions that you can implement straight away so that you can start seeing the results in your business. Join us as we explore the latest trends and techniques within the digital marketing space. I'll share the tips and strategies that have been working for my clients over the years so that you too can grow your business successfully. So, as said, stay tuned every Wednesday, follow the podcast, and save it as your favorite so that you get notified when a new podcast is released. Also, don't forget that if you enjoy and get value from this podcast, one way that would really help us to reach more people is for you to share this podcast with 2 to 3 of your friends or colleagues that you know could benefit from this information. Welcome to today's episode, where we are going to discuss the all-important difference between marketing and advertising. And I know that this is a question that has come up quite often recently. I've been getting this question in my social media DMs. And so I thought I would create an episode where I explain to you what the difference is. I know that, when we're in business, it's not something that we always understand all the intricacies of marketing, digital marketing, and advertising. So let's address that today and let's learn something new. With today's episode, we are going to explain, first of all, what marketing is. And often you will find people use the term marketing and advertising interchangeably, but there's actually quite a big difference between the two. And it's important that you do understand what this is so that when you're out there trying to grow your business, you're using the right terminology, you're looking for the right resources, and know how to implement that correctly for your business. Marketing is the overall process of the creation, the communication, and the delivery of your message for your customers or your clients. It is also what we include in there are the activities that your business will undertake to facilitate that interaction between you, your business, and the customer or your prospective clients or customers. Whereas advertising, on the other hand, is when you actually take a form of marketing that involves placing that paid advert, paid placement of your message about your product or your service in a variety of different media. So if you think of looking at a newspaper and you see a page there that's advertising a product, that company's paid for their advertising to be placed in that newspaper. So usually advertising is something that's used to allow you to reach a larger audience and to generate that brand awareness of your product or service. Now, I'm going to give you a bit more information so that it makes it easy for you to understand this. And there is definitely a simple way to think about it. So if you look at marketing is the big picture. It's about understanding your target market, creating that compelling value proposition, that point of difference from you versus all your competitors, positioning yourself in the market so that you reach your target audience. and you persuading them to come in, buy from you, connect with you, and take part in your services. Now, I discussed a lot of all of this in terms of target marketing, your compelling value proposition, how to position yourself in the previous episodes. So if you head back to episode 34, that's where we'll discuss target market, finding that ideal client. And in episode 35, I tell you where you're going to find that audience. So head back to those two episodes. And the two after that, 36 and 37, are also really valuable to understand that big picture when it comes to marketing. Now that we understand a bit more about marketing and understanding that it's a big picture, let's look a bit more in detail at advertising. Advertising, you can think of it as one of the tools that you can use to achieve your marketing goals. Now, when we're talking about goals with marketing, it's always important to think about those key factors that you're going to use to start tracking if your marketing is successful. You don't want to be putting stuff out there and not knowing if it's reaching the right people, if it's engaging, if it's converting, most of all, into paying clients. Otherwise, it feels like you're wasting your time and energy and resources, which we know is something that we don't want to be wasting. So remember that advertising is definitely one of those tools that allows you to achieve those marketing goals that you've set out for your business. It's a way to reach a large audience and to allow your message to generate that brand awareness of your product or service. So here's a couple of examples of marketing activities. One would be creating your website, writing blog posts on your website, publishing your social media content every day, every week, and every month. Also, running those very important email campaigns. Here's another couple that you might not have thought of that actually are marketing activities, and that is hosting events. So if you run webinars, seminars, workshops, those are all part of your marketing activities that you've decided to embark on to grow your audience. Partnerships. So if you're doing a joint venture or a collaboration with somebody or another company, then that is one of the many examples of a marketing activity. So now that you've got examples of marketing activities, let's look a bit more at your advertising. So some examples of advertising could be placing an ad in a newspaper or magazine, running ads on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, putting a commercial on TV, if you're so inclined to, or running a radio commercial if your business is localized. Also consider another example is sponsorships, so selling sponsorships or even product placement. So these are all examples of advertising and how you can reach a larger audience. Now, when it comes to small businesses and being a small business owner, you might use marketing and advertising to grow your business. And I wanted to share a few tips around that. The first things that you do need to consider when you are trying to grow your business is the all important of defining who your target audience is. Now, I know that we've spoken about this, as I said, back in episode 34. Head back to that episode because I break it down and I give you an amazing resource that you can download. If you didn't download it in episode 34, I have got a great workbook that will guide you through understanding who your ideal client is, where to find them, what questions to ask them, and how to do the market research. Head straight to www.holisticvision.com.au/clarity workbook and download that resource today. Now, and the second I wanted to share with you was to create that compelling value proposition. Now, you might be thinking, Amita, what's value proposition again? Remember, if you go back to episode 35, I tell you all about this, as well as in episode 36. We break it all down, but I'm going to give you the short version quickly. And value proposition is when you define that unique point of difference What makes you stand out? Why should somebody choose your service or your product versus the thousands of other competitors out there that are offering something similar or even the same, you might think? Well, consider how you're going to package your service or product up, because your experience, your expertise is what's going to make your service different to everybody else's. And there are some great strategies to put together that you can use to get out there in front of your competitors. Thirdly, develop a marketing mix. Now, what this means is considering the various marketing channels out there and realizing or trying to understand, well, where are your target audience hanging out? What platforms do they like to use digitally to gather information about the types of services or products that you sell? It's really important that you identify that. And how do you identify that? It's by asking the right questions. And how do you get those questions? Well, go back to that resource that I just mentioned that you can download, where I will break it all down for you and you'll know exactly where to find this information and how easy it is to obtain. And the last point that I wanted to share with you that's going to help you with growing your business and understanding of how to use marketing and advertising to your benefit is to track your results. Now, I'm a big believer in making sure that we are tracking results on a regular basis so that you can see what is working and what isn't. You don't want to be focusing on wasting time on the things that are not working for you, or you would like to know sooner rather than later so that you can change what you're doing, tweak it, make it work for you, identify what the problem might be as to why it's not working, and then work with that. So, those are the 4 tips that are going to help you use marketing and advertising to grow your business. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you is that, yes, it is a lot to take in and it is essential for growing your business. But the one important thing is to just take it step by step. You don't have to implement everything at once, and you don't need to show up on every platform out there at once either. Go back, download the resource so you can identify which platform is going to work for your target audience. That resource is the Clarity Workbook, and you can download it at www.holisticvision.com.au/Clarity Workbook. Well, thank you for listening to today's episode. I have loved being here, and I hope you have too. I hope that you've learned something valuable from today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notified every Wednesday when the episodes are released. If you've gotten value and you can think of 2 to 3 friends that would really appreciate learning more about the difference between marketing and advertising and getting their marketing to work for their business, then share this episode with them. Don't forget to leave a review as well, because every review is going to help us to reach more people just like you. Until next week, happy marketing.